Hey guys, got a treat for you. This is a fan I've been looking for a long time, or at least some variation thereof. I have loved these type of fans, these CEC vented spinners, ever since I was a kid. There was a place, Andy may remember, Andy is here, in Hilldale Mall called Wolf Kubley. Did you ever go to Wolf Kubley?
Yes. In fact, it was one of our Christmas shopping go-to places before they relocated.
Not unlike Dorn Hardware, which is another local hardware chain, Wolf Kubley was a franchise that went far and beyond the store that it is a franchise of. Dorn Hardware is True Value, but it's, you know, way cooler than your average True Value, and they have way more stuff. Wolf Kubley was an Ace franchise, but it was way cooler than your average Ace franchise. And included in Wolf Kubley was a place called Dykman's, which sold and repaired clocks. And they had their own little section of the store that had just walls and walls and walls of clocks. And up against one of the walls, with the blades basically touching, was one of these in polished brass. And there's a picture of it in the Yahoo group that I took when they were still around. That store has since been torn down, and they've reopened another location. I don't think it's as cool. But I'd always loved that fan. It had like a 4-foot pull chain with a tassel on the end. It was in polished brass. And other than the finish and the canopies, it was the same as this one. Do you remember that fan at all, Andy?
I remember there being a spinner fan there. I don't remember in the detail that you do.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. And I believe they sold that fan at Menards, because I can remember seeing it in the Menards ads when I was a kid. I never actually saw it at Menards, which is interesting, but I saw it in the Menards ads. But when they drew it in the Menards ads, they never drew it with vents, which was interesting to me. So it always led me to believe there was also a non-vented version, which I'd like to find. So I have memories as of a kid of there being a version with a lower canopy. But as an adult, or even as a young collector, I never saw one with a lower canopy. And I couldn't remember where I saw it as a kid. So I was trying to think about, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there never was one with a lower canopy. And then some years ago, a collector posted a picture of a white one with a lower canopy on Vintageceilingfans.com, and I was super excited because I'd been looking for that version for a very long time. Since then, 2 others have popped up with lower canopies. Another collector found one, and I tried to get it, but they never replied to me. And then there's one in a YouTube video that is not a collector's video. I think it's kids throwing stuff in a fan, and I left a comment on that too, trying to get it, but nobody has followed up. Both of those are cane, and at least one of the other ones is different in terms of the canopies. They all have this upper canopy, but most of the other ones have the same upper and lower canopy. This one has a different lower canopy. This is also the first one to have turned up labeled Sierra. It also says Litco Enterprises, which I've never seen on Sierra before. Amarillo, Texas. That's pretty cool. So this is the first of its kind to turn up. Another collector found this for me, and it's part of a trade. I think they're trading it for something a little bit more valuable. So, well, yeah, we got to flesh that out. But a big thank you to them for picking this up for me. And this is also, I think the one that a different collector spotted in Texas was variable speed, but I don't believe any of the YouTube ones are variable speed. So that's another thing about it that's unique. Okay, that's my story, and I am sticking to it. So let's turn the amp meter on and let's start the video here. This is variable speed on. It has a reverse pull chain. The amp meter is going nuts. So let's see if I can get it to be cooperative. This is a very cheap amp meter, but I don't need a high-end one for these videos. I just need it to cooperate. There we go. So I believe it's set to low forward, drawing 0.2. There's no current rating on it. There's a tag on the top of the fan with a number, but no other information. Other thing that's different about this one, I should have pointed out before I started up, is like, what brand is that? Like the Supreme version of this, the blades, what's the word? There's a word that other collectors use. but the blades are angled backwards. Like instead of being straight, they're angled backwards. Man, there's a word that other collectors use for that, and I can't remember what it is. I mean, they're just tilted back. So that's low with the variable speed knob. Let's go 1/8 of a turn, 0.21. That really didn't make a difference. Let's go a 1/4 turn, 0.27. Not a huge difference. So Andy actually likes vented spinners. So I've been trying to talk him into one of these for his kitchen. What are your thoughts on this one so far?
It's nice. I like it a lot. I agree with you. It would hang too low.
I mean, we can put a shorter down rod on it. This is a much longer down rod that it needs. But by the way, 0.38 now. But having both a bell upper canopy and a lower canopy,
yeah,
it's going to hang low regardless. Now, do you know how tall your ceiling is there?
It's an 8-foot ceiling.
Okay, so this is like 9 where the fan is hanging. Let's see, another 1/4 turn takes us to high, which is 0.5. We forgot to measure it. I will measure it once it stops. You can tell it's moving a lot of air, but it's not like a huge breeze right under the fan. Like, you know, some industrials where you can the breeze is not super direct right under the fan.
Yeah, it's there, but
yeah, it's more spread out. You can definitely feel something from it at this distance. Seems to be on a pot. It's close to a 52-inch K55 fan, but maybe a little bit less. Hard to say, especially because it's definitely smaller than 52. You ready for me to stop it? You want to get another angle there?
yeah, go ahead.
I think this will just turn it off. So let me find something to prop the camera up so that I can measure it once it stops. Yeah. There's actually a church that I played for only once here in Madison that's now been torn down. It was over there by Southtown Drive that had a non-lower canopy version of this in the church kitchen. And it hung down super low. Like way lower than this. It had, I think it had a 5 light on it. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, we can definitely look into how... Because you really only need about an inch or so of down rod showing. You know what I mean? You need just enough to be able to drop the canopy enough to put the fan on a mounting bracket.
Yeah.
And if I use a double claw mounting bracket, then you can do it with about an inch. So we could easily lose about 4 or 5 inches of down rod. I mean, it wouldn't be the easiest install to do it that way, but it would be doable. But again, I think if you're going to put a down rod fan in your kitchen, I really think that it's probably any light you put on the bottom of it is just going to add.
Yeah.
If you want to seriously consider putting a spinner in your kitchen, a down rod spinner in your kitchen, then I think maybe we should seriously look into a different way to have a light come on when you first walk in the room. I'd have to look at the kitchen to see. If it was my house, I probably would just leave the fan, put the fan there without a light, and walk across the room to turn the light on and not be bothered. But you know, I don't think my wife would probably like that as much. I think she'd probably fuss at me for not having a light. Then again, I don't know. She always surprises me. I never know what to expect.
Cooks in the dark.
She cooks in the dark. Who does that? So let's see. What are you going with? 48, 46?
40, oh, looks like 46.
46.
Our winner.
46?
Very uncommon.
Yeah. I told you it was smaller than 48 but bigger than 42. So, let's turn the variable back to the new setting. The fact that it's variable speed is cool. You know?
Yeah.
You're the only kid on the block with a variable speed fan in your kitchen.
That is true. I'm sure I'm the only kid on my block with, over his or on over a dining table.
You'd be surprised. There are a lot of Newtones in Madison.
Well, at least in that building.
Probably in that building. For there to be another Newtone in your building, you'd probably have to be another fan collector in the building. And while fan collectors seem to be popping up everywhere, 0.28 by the way, 0.35, I'd be surprised if there's another one in your building.
It'd have to be the only other apartment somewhere other.
Here, you want to hold this since I hate, okay, what do we got next? Another quarter turn, 0.46. Seems like it goes faster in reverse. Just trying to clean that up a little bit since since at the time I didn't have to hold the camera. High reverse, 0.52, so it's a little bit faster in reverse. Yeah, this was not in great shape. It's cleaning up decent, but you know, so the finish definitely could be way better. Okay, so then forward and oft. Okay, 1 microfarad. We spin it on 1? It's hard to tell if it's spinning or if it's just residual movement.
I think it wants to go.
I think it wants to go. It's not going.
Yeah, just
2.
there we go. Yeah,
0.1.
2 is the way.
Yeah, if you decide not to put this in your house, I'm trying to figure out where to put it.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat fan that should go somewhere.
Yeah. I would put it in my kitchen and just have it hang low, except for the fact that you wouldn't be able to open the cabinets because it's also too big.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, we can get on one of those install fails.
Yeah. That I know the wife wouldn't be cool with. 3.16. I still have my heart set on putting a 6-blade fan over your bed, but this wouldn't be bad to hang over your bed. It'd be a pretty easy installation too, since it's a bell canopy fan. You just put it on a J-hook and run a swag kit. It's got variable speed already in it. It's silent with the variable speed. 4.22. It's too small to go in my living room. I would consider putting it in my bedroom. Yeah, the fact that it's a reverse pull chain would not work in my bedroom because we will often change the fan speed from the pull chain while in bed, and that's you can't do that with this one. So that I know Nia would not like that. 0.27. I suppose I could hang it and put it on a remote and not use the variable speed. But yeah, I really want to keep Island fans in my bedroom anyhow. Really, the only place I could put this is in my second bedroom, but I really want to keep that little Newtone there, so. .33, we're at 6. 0.37, we're at 7. 0.41, we're at 8. 0.45, we're at 9. 0.47, we're at 10. We're going to go over pretty soon if it doesn't. 0.49. 13 is 0.5. 14 is 0.51. Yep, 15 is over. So I couldn't even use this on a regular wall control. Zero to high is all we have left. Where are we at on time?
14:10.
Cool. Goes up to 0.52. .51. I believe it drops to 0.50. Yep, 0.50. Well, let's keep brainstorming and figure out where the best place to put it is, because I would rather not box this one up, especially seeing as I've been looking for one for so long. I'm trying to think, is there any other place in my folks' house I could put it? Not really. I mean, I could put it in that second bedroom. The more I think about it, I don't want to put it somewhere where it needs a light because it has a switch cap, and how often do you find one of these that actually has the switch cap?
Yeah.
So that would rule out your kitchen. No, we talked about that. I mean, either way, if we do it in your kitchen, we got to change some lighting. That rules out my parents' den. Either I'll just take the new tone down for a little bit just to give this a place to shine briefly, and the new tone will go back up eventually, or I talk you into putting it over your bed. I think that's probably a better place for it. You don't need a light on your fan over the bed, do you? Or do you want a light?
No, I don't really.
Yeah. The only thing is that the blades are darker than the blades on the Hunter, and I do kind of like all the blades matching. But I mean, that would be the same thing in the kitchen, anyways.
Right.
So. We don't have to watch this. We can stop the video.
All right. Thanks
Thanks
for
for watching.
watching.
Jinx.